Lola Narcisa Claveria. Panganak ako sa Banintog, San Juan, Nabra.
Ako ay si Lola Estelita ng Lila Pilipina, Claveria. Ako po ay 89 years old na.
Nung wala pang hapon, masarap ang buhay namin. Kasi ang tatay ko, nanay ko, panmarsyal mga yan. Tatay ko maraming alagang baka, kalabaw at nagtatanim ng palay, mga mais. Nanay ko naman, alaga niya baboy, manok.
Bago dumating ang hapon, kami ay nanirahan sa Hacienda Lizares. Papa ko ay farmer at ang dalawang kapatid siya nagtatrabaho sa Hacienda.
On December 7, 1941, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, beginning its conquest of Asian nations and marking the start of the Pacific War. It was a war launched by Japan in its ambition to become a superpower in the Asia-Pacific region. It was a war that would change the lives of Filipinos, who were then under the neo-colonial rule of the US government, forever.
Na 1943, dumating kasi ang mga sundalong Hapon doon sa amin. Tinalian matalikot, ganyan ang tatay ko. Ibinaba doon sa aming hagdan at itinali doon sa aming haligi. Ang haligi ng araw, lalaki. Tapos lumapit naman yung isang ako. Kinuha yung bayoneta. Inalaplap yung bagat ng tatay ko. Nung nakarating ako doon sa ano namin, doon sa salas, nakita ko yung nanay ko na nakataas na yung saya. Kasi patungad na suga ang pangalan. Alam ko suga ang pangalan kasi tagal namin nakasama sa garrison yan. Pagkatapos itong dalawa akong kapatid na si Clemente at sa Claveria na bunso, isang 6 na taon at isang 4 na taon. Kumuha sila ng pamalo. Kaya lang maliliit naman parang iski. Pagpapaluin nila yung hapon. Ang ginawa ba naman dun sa dalawa akong kapatid, ginablot niya at ginanya ng bayoneta. Napakahirap ang aming inabot. Pagkatapos, hila-hila kami, 3 kami magkakapatid na babae. Ilayo kami sa tatay ko, dadaling kami sa garrison. Nung lumingon na ako, umuusok na yung aming bahay. Kaya pagkaalam ko, yung lalay ko, tatay ko, at saka 2 akong kapatid na bunso, sinama siguro nila sa sulok. Dahil di po tumong lang nung nakalabas kami sa garrison, wala pa lang kaming nakita. Ganon ang pagtrato sa amin ng mga sundalong Hapon.
Isang araw may dumating na isang truck. May dalang mga tao na sinasuspitsahan nila na guerrilla. Dinala nila sa plaza malapit sa simbahan. Sa tabi ng plaza may isang balon na ginagamit ng hardinero sa pagdidilig ng halaman at pinapipila nila ang tao na masuspitsahan nila ng guerrilla at pinupugutan nila ng ulo. At ang iba naman ay tumatakbo. At yun naman ay binabaril din nila. Ako ay nagkukubli. Mayroon pa ng apo na nakabantay sa akin. Natakot ko, bigla akong tumakbo at ako'y kanyang naabutan. Tinadapa ako. Pag nang inabutan niya ako, hinawakan ako sa buhok, pinatayo, at pinaikis ang aking kamay. Kinaladkad ako, dinala ako sa truck.
Garrisons were established to provide comfort for the Japanese soldiers. Women like Lola Estelita and Lola Isang are among the thousands of women in the Philippines forced into domestic and sexual slavery by Imperial Japan. It was a fact established by the discovery of medical reports from Japanese war archives detailing the location of a comfort station in the central Philippines. Hundreds of Filipino women from other parts of the country would later come forward with their stories of sexual slavery in the hands of the Japanese soldiers.
Dadalhin ako sa garrison mismo. Hinila muna ako doon. Hanggang pa naranasan ng pagre-rip niya muna sa akin.
Sinakay kami sa truck, dinala kami sa garrison. At pagdating namin sa garrison, bumaba ako sa truck, tapos pinalanda ako dun sa isang bahay na may kwarto. At sa iba naman kung saan dinala. Pagkatapos nun ako ripin ng hapon na dumating, may sumunod pa. Naramdaman ko para ako nasaktan, nilabanan ko yung hapon. Nagalit sa akin. Nabakan ako sa dalawang tenga at lakas na. Ilantob sa lamisa, nahulan ako ng malay. Pagkatapos na may masmasan ako, wala na hapon. May isang babae lumapit sa akin, pinayuhan ako. Na huwag daw akong manlaban, baka daw ako patayin pa. Kung ano yung ikaw gusto, sumunod ka na lamang para hindi ka masaktan. Kaya ako pag nilirip ako ng mga hapon, umiyak na lang ako, tinatakpan mo ang aking mata. Inabot ako ng 3 linggo sa garrison.
Pagpunta ng mga hapon dito, gutom ang inabot namin sa kaparusa. Naiwan ko kung anong parusa ginawa nila sa amin. Aywan ko noon, 1945 na yun, siguro. Nagbubumbahan na ngayon ang ginagawa ng mga gerilya, hinahabol ngayon ng mga hapon. Paghabol nila, andun pa kami, nakakulong kami sa garrison. Hindi nila binuksan yung pinto, kanya-kanyang takbol na, wala nang pakialam ng hapon sa amin. Narinig ngayon ng gerilya yung tilig namin. Sila ngayon ang nagbakbak dun sa pinto para kami nakatakas.
Kala ko ako'y nananilip lang. Yung pala, totoo pala na pumasok ng Amerikano sa loob ng garrison. At pinakawalan yung nakakulong. At ako na yung sumalisi para uwi sa amin. Kala ng mama ko patay na ako.
On August 6 and 9, 1945, the US bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, forcing Japan to surrender on August 14, thus marking an end to World War II. Japan, after surrendering, became a pacifist nation, but Shinzo Abe's militarist policy and its acting as a junior military partner of the US in the Asia-Pacific region has brought Japan once more into the path of wars of aggression. In fact, the first time Japan deployed its soldiers offshore to participate in a war exercise happened in the Philippines, jointly conducted with the US and Philippine troops in October 2019. The Philippines may be a small country, but it is sought after by imperial powers due to its strategic location and rich natural resources. Today, 75 years after the end of World War II, the Philippines is confronted by 2 competing superpowers, the US and China. The US remains a dominant political and economic power in the country, but China has very recently encroached on the Philippine territorial waters. Through its depth diplomacy, China promises of funding the Duterte administration's Build, Build, Build program, enabling it to assert its geopolitical and economic interests in the country. But Japan also takes its claim of the pie. Japan remains the #1 creditor in the country, giving it the power to pressure the Philippine government to impose its political will, particularly in erasing the memory of Japanese war crimes, especially that of the comfort women. On December 8, 2017, a comfort woman statue was unveiled in Manila. Only 4 months later, the statue was removed after Japanese officials expressed regret over its installation. In 2019, the statue was to be reinstalled by Lila Pilipina and other comfort women supporters, but it went missing a few days before the event. On December 28, 2018, another memorial statue was unveiled in a private facility in San Pedro, Laguna. It was suddenly removed only 2 days after by the local government, apparently also as a response to the Japanese officials' displeasure.
And 75 years after the end of World War II, justice remains elusive.
The stories of our grandmothers are stories of sacrifice and extreme sufferings, but they are also struggles of outstanding courage and triumphs of the human will. There were many shortcomings, but so were there many unparalleled achievements. The issue of Japanese wartime military sexual slavery is not something that will simply go away, so long as Japan, as the aggressor nation, does not recognize and officially accept its responsibility. It will also not go away so long as wars of aggression, militarism, and authoritarianism haunt the world. Today, what women are experiencing in countries where these are happening are echoes of what our grandmothers experienced in World War II. But many of our Lolas have already passed away, so it is up now to you, the young peoples of the world, to carry on the fight even as you struggle against these realities in your own time. We must struggle, we must fight, but we must always remember and never forget.